obviously we've gone through troubling times. COVID has made a huge impact, but we have a national recovery, and we got heard this morning the €750 billion will be made available to the European Recovery Plan. I just wonder if there are initiatives that you've seen in Mondragon and the cooperatives that you're working with, the people that you're working with, that have worked and that will work in the National Recovery Plan. Is there anything that you've learnt in the past year even around the strength of your cooperatives in Mondragon and what we might be able to take with us for the European Recovery Plan?
For this recovery plan, we have presented a very ambitious plan. It's divided in three different areas, but globally we are speaking about 1,500 million euros investment, and thinking to create 5,000 new employees in our cooperatives. Then it's divided in three areas. One is the three projects: Green Mondragon. The second is Digital Mondragon, and the third is the Home of the Future and the Silver Economy. For that, to do it, we have ambition, but as well we need the collaboration with other companies, with other institutions, public and private institutions, and other cooperatives as well, and another type of companies. And we are working in this project with big groups, even small companies, trying to collaborate, because we can do alone all the plan we have.
So it's a real idea.
But we are really with a big expectation. We will see.
I suppose it'll depend an awful lot on how well we're able to lobby for that kind of new initiative in the social economy. As an organisation that has such representation, I know that there's an awful lot of work that you guys have done in the past to make it success out of your areas. Just maybe I'll bring in Andrea here to talk about what he sees as the impact that can be made all across Europe. I suppose from your point of view, ethical finance, particularly in those countries, Italy and Spain, where you're mostly based, but through your connections in Febia and all across Europe, what is your sense of the National Recovery Plan, the opportunity for the social economy to play a huge role in the future?
There is this opportunity, and we must get this opportunity. It is an ambitious recovery plan. I would pick up on some quotes that I heard in the introduction. We must also pay attention to the correlation between environment, social, and governance, all the dimensions. The recovery plan is very ambitious on the environmental part, and we must take this opportunity in order to transform the economy, and the social economy must play a central role. As ethical banks, I talk about Banca, Etica, but as you were saying, we are part of a federation of ethical banks. We think we are ready to try and grab these opportunities. We are also doing some advocacy in order to try and foster some kind of regulation that may help the development of social economy. And we will see in the next month, in the next years, if and how much this recovery plan will be able to foster social economy and to transform the economy out of the disaster we saw in the latest years due to the COVID pandemic we are still facing in these days. So there are some hopes, there are some ambitions, but still we will need some more regulation. Maybe this is something we can talk about later in this chat.
Andrea, just to pick up on that, you mentioned about green and digital, because I know it was picked up from Iñigo. What is your sense on that? What is the interaction between social economy? Are you seeing things being investable from an ethical finance point of view? What is the pickup? Have you got any kind of insight into those strands?
There is the chance to move forward on that. I would say for the time being, what we see in the financial part is a lot of attention on the environmental part, and still somehow the social dimension is somehow lagging behind. I'm not only referring to the recovery plan, but for instance, the European Union has launched this Sustainable Finance Action Plan, which is more than welcome. It's great, but it currently is very focused, the definition of sustainability, on environment and climate change, which is fundamental. We must act on that, and we must act on that now. But as ethical banks, once again, I'm talking not only about Banca Etica, but the whole Federation of Ethical and Alternative Banks, we think that we cannot talk about sustainability if we don't take into account the environment, the social. We cannot avoid speaking about speculation, about tax havens, about a lot of issues that are linked to finance. So in order to make finance able to serve the social economy and to help in this transformation of the economy, we still need some bold move from the European institutions.
Well, that's really good to hear. I suppose, Inigo, you had mentioned it earlier about the digital and the green dimensions of the social economy. And obviously, you've got a huge role to play. A lot of your corporations, those that are involved in Mondragon, have a hand, act, and part. They're involved in those sectors already. What efforts are you in Mondragon making to upskill, reskill, to challenge, to adapt to what it looks like it's an inevitable? I mean, Andrea said that it is the future. What efforts are Mondragon playing from the social economy into those other strands?
Yes, we are conscious that is probably the more difficult target because the change that is coming is very, very deep. First of all, we ask all people that every person must be an active actor in his own lifelong learning. And the commitment of everyone is a must, because otherwise, if every person is waiting, it's impossible. To move in this direction, we have different possibilities. First, we have our own university, that is Mondragon University, that for different campus, we have engineering school, business school, humanities, and as well we have the Basque Culinary Center. eh, and we are using, obviously, our university mainly. We also have our center to continuous improvement in management skill. As well, we have primary schools where we are working in the pedagogy of confidence. That is very important for the next generation. As well, we have 14 research centers where we are pushing the Mondragon innovation model. Then is all these conventional tools, I will say, we are working very, very a lot. And in addition to this, we have new tools that we have pushed this year. First of all, we are working in the future of work observatory and making people planning, strategic planning. As well, we are working in the development of team competences in all primary schools, working in Mondragon Dual as well, training program, working in the employability and skilling, looking for the professional transition, starting from the green and digital transformation. And as well, we develop a Mondragon learning platform for digital transformation. And as well, we develop experimentation areas to check every movement we are doing in this direction.
Unbelievable.
This, like I explained before,
Yeah.
is a is a must to do all these things because the challenge
Yeah.
is very, very important.
I ask a question about how what you're doing to upskill and reskill. You've got models, plans. You guys are ready. It's a phenomenal thing to see. I suppose just Andrea, we touched on green digital skills and I suppose finance in a way. Is there any particular strand for the European Action Plan that you are doubling down on that you think will be valuable, that'll change, that you need to see included? Is there any things that stick out for you about the Social Economy Action Plan and its potential?
There are several, and once again, I think we have an ambition and very positive recovery plan, but still we are missing some possible instruments in order to allow ethical finance, alternative finance to better serve social economy and develop social economy along with the recovery plan. Let me flag out just one possible example. We are currently talking about how finance could provide necessary capital to the social economy in order to develop social economy. One thing we're talking about, it started the discussion, is the idea of a social supporting factor. That would be that the banks that really support the social economy could lend money to the social economy at lower capital requirements. We're talking about a green supporting factor, which means banks that are investing in renewables, energy efficiency, could do it with easier conditions. We believe it's time also to speak about social supporting factor. That would be a major instrument in order to allow financial intermediaries to support and strengthen social economy. And in a time of tight budgets for public governments, one important argument that it would come at a zero cost for public and the government. So that would be an incredible incentive and a very useful instrument in order to foster and develop social economy. And this is something we feel is currently missing from the various bits we see, the recovery plan, the action plan on sustainable finance, and so on and so forth. But it's something it would be really time to discuss and try to put forward.
Absolutely, it's such a relevant and timely point. I suppose very briefly, because I'm afraid I could talk to you both for years, and unfortunately we are running out of time. So what I'm suggesting now maybe is to merge some of the questions that I had together, and maybe go back to you, Iñigo, and just ask you social action plan, things that we want to see. If there was a thing that you wanted the 6,000 people that have come to the Social Economy Summit to walk away with, just final sort of closing thoughts. What would they be? Social economy action plan, people you want to walk away with. What are the main thoughts that you want to leave us with here on stage today?
It's clear the social economy can play a strategic level, a strategic volume in the economy, and it is possible to apply, for example, the cooperative system in different areas like we have. It's possible to increase. It's impossible to collaborate. It's possible to do more things, and sure that with one good action plan, thinking in the long term, we can develop a new economy with more collaboration, socially better and more effective for the economy and for the planet. I think it's possible, and we can demonstrate it.
Those are beautiful sentiments, and it's not just that we believe it. You guys are doing it, which makes a huge difference. We know it's possible. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, but Andrea, I'll leave it the last word to you. Any thoughts that you've got for the thousands of people that have logged into the Social Economy Summit? These are our people that would absolutely be Banca Etica customers or Mondragon customers, I am absolutely sure. But is there any thoughts, any final things that we've got in the last couple of seconds that you'd like to leave our audience with?
Yeah, sure. In a nutshell, I would say yes. We can speak about let's say, a top-down approach, which is needed, recovery plan and rules from the institution, but which should also reflect on a bottom-up approach in saying where is money is going. Once I put my money in a bank or in an investment fund, a pension fund, is my money fostering social economy, ecological transformation, digitalisation, or what I want to see with my values, with my money, or is it ending up in something with a bad negative impact? So starting also and keeping on this bottom-up approach in reflecting on our own money and how we could really make a difference in choosing some bank or another, some investment fund or another, and we could really make a difference also in helping and developing social economy with this.
I have to say that I know this is the European Commission, it's the European platform, but I obviously am from Ireland, and I am looking forward to opening up Mondragon in Ireland and Banca Etica in Ireland. So looking forward to seeing you both there. And